Please call the roll.
Counselor Olson. Here. Bridge. Here. Bender. Here. Stenberg. Here. McDonald. Here. Joyle. Here. Finsland. Here. Herrick. Here. McKenzie. Here. Brown. Here. Nowicki. Here. And Sather. Here.
We'll move to proclamations and commendations.
I don't think we have any.
Pardon?
We don't have
We don't
any.
have them. Okay. A call for approval of the minutes. Discussion. Hearing none, I'll signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. No public hearings.
Yep. Item 6 is the consent agenda.
You've heard the motion and second. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 7.1, Finance Director Vito is submitting the Animal Allies Consultation and Coordination Proposal to the City of Superior.
Director Vito.
Thank you, Mayor. We do have individuals here this evening from Animal Allies. I can't see behind the post, but I think also from Animal Rescue Federation and the Humane Society of Douglas County, in case you have any questions about where we're at in the process here and what we're asking for approval of tonight. I did distribute an updated timeline. I apologize for the viewing public. I don't have any, or the people in our audience. We've ran out of copies, but if anybody would like a copy, they can just ask me, and I'd be happy to get more. You'll see that we're about halfway through today. We're in May, and obviously last May we had just begun the process with the Animal Shelter Task Force, so it's amazing how quickly a year goes by, and what we're looking for tonight is approval from the council to enter into an agreement, an approximate year-plus long agreement where Animal Allies will officially take over and begin the coordinating of how we continue to move forward. And financially, what we're asking the council for tonight is approval of the first $10,000 of the proposed $50,000 contract. And I did provide an updated contract, a couple of changes. We didn't have the signature page on the very end of the first one that I distributed, and also there are some changes at Animal Allies. The executive director, Jim Philby Williams, is taking a position with the Duluth Superior Area Community Foundation, I believe at the end of May, and so shelter director Linda Baumgarth has been named as the interim executive director, and she will certainly be a lead on the proposal that you have in front of you. And I guess I would open it up for questions of any of us, if any counselors have any.
Yeah, no questions, but just a comment. I just wanted to say that I'm really proud of everybody that's worked on this project. Worked with me for 2.5 years now. Obviously we have a long ways to go, but this document, Gene, that you've worked on so hard, and everybody else, gives Animal Allies the tools and the opportunity to now work with the city and with ARF and Douglas County Humane Society. Excuse me. I guess the ultimate goal is to provide quality shelter for stray and abandoned animals with an effective plan so that these animals can have forever homes. And so I really appreciate everything that's been done. Again, if anybody has questions, Linda Baumgarth is here tonight, along with Madeline from Animal Allies. So thank you guys very much.
Any further discussion? I just want to make a comment that we've had some very, very forward-looking meetings among the staff here and with Animal Allies and other members that are keenly interested in moving this forward. And it's going to be an exciting opportunity for the city and the county. Is there a motion to proceed? I'm sorry, we do have a motion. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 7.2, Assistant Public Works Director Getzman is recommending to award the Banks Avenue Reconstruction Phase 2 project to A1 Excavating for $861,743.46.
You've heard the motion and second. Discussion? Any comments from Mr. Getzman?
Just a couple of things, Mayor. We did, as you saw in the memo, open bids here on the 20th. We did receive 3 good bids on the project. And I'd like to point out that we did partner with the Water and Light on this project and get their input and their water main replacement included with this work. And we're anticipating that's going to make a lot smoother project to do everything all at one time this year. And looking forward to getting this project done.
I'll also say that we met with the people living and businesses along Banks Avenue. I know Councilor McKenzie and Councilor Bender, and I think President Olson were there. And they were quite appreciative of the opportunity to have further input, as well as learning of what the project's going to entail, the timeline, and the fact that we have a contact person that'll be the main contact person for them to interface with should their issues or concerns arise. So it's a very positive experience for everybody, and we look forward to working with them very closely on that project. And Director Morgan was there also, I believe. No? Any other discussion? Councilor?
Jeff, was there a memo email about using stormwater funds as well with the project? Could you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, certainly, Councilor. The email I sent yesterday basically was an update to try to explain the funding for the project. And as you know, last year when Planning Director Cirque brought the CDBG action plan to you for approval, it included some money for this second phase of Banks Avenue. That amount basically was slated to cover the cost of materials and some subcontractor work on things like concrete, some smaller portions of the project. When we changed gears and went to a contractor bid on this project, the bids came in a little bit higher, and the bid you see here in front of you, $861,000, does include the water and lights portion, but it left about $300,000 for the city to fund over that original block grant amount. A portion of that we determined could come from the storm sewer construction on the project, could come out of the stormwater fund. There's a little bit of sanitary sewer work as well, and we're going to pay for that out of that fund. And Jason has talked about then reallocating some of the unspent 2010 block grant funds to cover the additional on this project.
Great.
So that would make up that gap that we talked about.
Yeah, thanks for that explanation.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 7.3, Assistant Public Works Director Getzman is recommending to award the sanitary and combined sewer construction, reconstruction, replacement, and rehabilitation projects to RJS Construction for $995,000.
You've heard the motion. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. I'm sorry. Councilor Herrick.
Thank you. Yeah, just a question on this. On this, I understand 75% of this is going to be covered by grants, the other 25% by the City of Superior. And what area are those funds coming out of?
Yes, Councilor Herrick, that's correct. The 75% is actually a Section 154 grant. It's a federal grant that we got through the Corps of Engineers. I want to say a couple of years back in that funding process, we worked with the county to get those funds. And so that's the source of that money. It'll cover 75% of the expense here, and the city will be matching the last quarter. And the project involves repair and replacement of some sanitary sewers or combined sewers in like 30 or 31 different locations in town here.
Okay. And then the other 25%, we've already budgeted for that?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 8.1, Mayor Hagan is submitting a communication regarding his salary and benefits, advising because by Wisconsin statute, he is unable to reduce his salary. He is declining participation in the Wisconsin retirement system and the city's health and dental plan, saving approximately $17,400 annually.
I ask this be received and filed. Thank you.
Item 9.1, Council President Olson and Vice President Herrick are submitting committee assignments.
You've heard the motion and second to approve the committee assignments. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Councilor Bender, Superior Douglas County Leadership, a presentation on proposed signage requests for the Superior Municipal Forest.
We're looking forward to it.
Well, I thought I was going to be the Lone Ranger here, but this is Lynn Williams, who's also who works in marketing at UWS, and she's another member of the group. No one else was able to be here tonight.
I'm his timekeeper.
Right. So she's my timekeeper. She gets to do numbers 7 through 13, and I'll do slides 1 through 6. Now, if I can find where this is, that's not it. See, I had this all set to go.
Your flash drive full of goodies.
It's all set to go. Okay, I'll let you click while I explain. Okay, so Lynn's first job is clicking while I explain. This is a project that we did for our leadership class, which ended today, and it's concerning the Superior Municipal Forest. We're going to talk about the history, the current use, leadership focus, and also future plans. And in 1949, as you see there, 4,500 acres were set aside for this. In 1951, the Common Council formally zoned this as forestry. In 1979, the first planning document for the Superior Municipal Forest was written. And then in 1989, this was rezoned suburban. And in 92, the Municipal Forest Protection Charter ordinance took place, and it was passed on a referendum by 60%. 95, the Superior Municipal Forest Plan was written. And in 1996, the Common Council entered into a memorandum of understanding with the DNR to designate 60% of the municipal forest as Dwight's Point and Pokegama Wetlands State Natural Area. In 2010, and I guarantee that there are pictures in this too, it's not just text. In 2010, the Superior Municipal Forest Master Plan Study was undertaken, and capital improvements include site plan improvement, bike traffic improvement, Pokegama Overlook, collaborate with the Lake Superior NER, partners to develop environmental learning, and some current uses. Is this 5 or 6, do you think? Okay, so current uses, and I won't read all of these, but I'll just highlight a couple ones. We already know, many of us know about the cross-country ski trails, and also the mountain bike trails are very popular. There is an archery course out there that many people use to practice, and there are some pictures of them. There's cross-country, there's the archery course, there's, I believe, the classroom on the Millennium Trail, and there's the ribbon cutting for the Millennium Trail.
So our leadership group got together and we decided that every leadership group has to do a project. You get into teams during the leadership program. And our group got together and we decided that we wanted to do something about the forest. And I think all of us just really felt that it was such a valuable resource to the community and that there was maybe something that we could do to help this. So we met with Mary and we talked about some different options. And some of the ideas that we talked about was the crime and vandalism in the forest, wanting to have education programs for the young people. and efforts to inform the public about what they have, this beautiful resource that they have available in their community, so that maybe there's a little bit more usage. We also talked about maybe an organizing effort to take the different groups that work in the forest and get them together. And I think what we ultimately decided to focus on, because this was a short-term program, as Warren said, the program ended today, so we wanted to do something that was manageable within our time frame. What we focused on was awareness of the forest, and ended up with the idea that right now, when you're driving around Superior, there's no signage directing you to the forest. So our idea was, if we create more signage, if we direct people driving up and down Tower, and we'll show you some maps, if we direct people to where the forest is, or even let them know when they're driving along roads that they might drive along every day, that they're entering or leaving the forest, that increased awareness will help the community. It might even take care of the crime and vandalism because of increased use and so forth. So we focused on new signage that we're proposing to you tonight. That's what we're asking for approval on. And then our group also had Randy Jones in it, who upgraded some maps that are available for your website to upload, and he has all that information, but I don't think we're going to go into that. And then the group is also going to do a spring cleanup with the fire department, and hopefully try to get some PR around that as well. So if you go to the next one. This is just a visual about some of the signs that we've had mocked up. These were also in discussions with Mary, I believe, and I don't know that these are firm. I think these were just some ideas that we'd had. So what we're talking about is entering and leaving signs, and then also directional signs. We were playing around with two options, one using the Superior logo and the other one using some type of forest graphic. So this is really, the next slide is really the guts of, I guess, what we're asking for here tonight, and that is increased signage and the funding to put up these signs and have them placed. The signs would be minimal maintenance, and we'd be using, I believe, all existing posts for the most part.
May have to put in one
or two new posts, yep.
Yes, the existing.
So ultimately, what we've got here is a map, forest area in the neighboring neighborhood. As you can see, what we're proposing, I guess, is to have directional signage on Tower that would point people to the forest, again, letting them know that it's there, increased awareness. And then we're proposing that we put up some signs on 105, and also as you're entering in on 28th, right? Yep. To let people know that they're entering and leaving the forest. And these would be, we have 6 locations on the map. There's also one in the forest. I guess this depends on the budget restrictions. We could give or take that one that's you are now in the forest.
And that's all here.
Yep. And then the signs would be both sided. So there would be one sign that going one way entering, and then on the other side of that would be leaving. So we'd be trying to be efficient by not putting up a post on both sides of the road was the other way that we would save money on this. And the rest of the slides, I don't know. I think this was more for our leadership group for the most part.
Well, except our picture.
Yeah.
That was us in the municipal forest.
I think the main thing here was that the leadership group, and I think a lot of the community members, when you hear about this wonderful resource, 3rd largest in the nation, municipal forest, it's something to be very, very proud of. And I think that's what our leadership focused on, is what do we have in this community already? And there's so many good resources, and we felt like this was a very minimal thing that we could do to increase awareness and hopefully drive more people to the forest. So I don't know if there's a monetary, I don't know where you do from here. That's my spin.
Well, we have to see if it gets approved by the council.
All right. Thank you all for this opportunity. I think it's a really, really great resource, and I think that it would be money well invested for the community.
Thank you,
Anything
Lynn.
else?
Yep, no, I think that's it, unless anybody has a question.
Councilor Brown.
Bob
Yes.
Brown had a question.
It's a bit of information. I have a friend that's on the state rustic roads board, and if that road, I drove him through there, and he looked at it and he thought it would be a perfect place for a rustic road. It would bring a lot of advertisement to the forest, but one of their criteria is that the road has to be open 12 months out of the year. And I'm just wondering if there's any way possible that we could keep that road open 12 months out of the year, because it sure would be great to have that advertised statewide.
Councilor Brown, you are correct in identifying that Billings Drive from 42nd Street to Highway 105, north-south route, is closed to the motoring public, vehicular traffic, during the winter because it essentially becomes a recreational trail for snowmobiles and ATVs. So at present, that road is designated as a recreational trail, and the council would have to take the matter up and formally change that in order to open the road year-round.
Okay, and I believe the criteria is that the road has to be at least a mile long, so if we could find a mile-long stretch in there that we could keep open, and maybe not necessarily have to close the trail part of it, might be an advantage. I don't know. It's something that we could look at, though.
I think we should explore that if you're serious about it. We should take a look at the criteria and see if there are any options for accommodating a rustic road designation.
Thank you.
Oh, definitely. From an awareness standpoint, I think that's exactly what would be, it would serve its purpose. That would be wonderful.
That'd be great. And I can't see that our other three classmates would be opposed to that.
It's the snowmobilers and ATVers who might be concerned about that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
If I may, your presentation is extremely timely. Internally with the various departments, we've been talking about, and you've heard me discuss this before, more welcoming entrances to our city and signage. We're going to be meeting with landscape architect, a couple businesses in town with Mary and Jeff and others to look at some renderings of what our entrances might be if we put a little more effort into having them look more welcoming for people that enter the city, our own citizens, a little bit of more pride with regard to who we are. We'll be bringing that information to council as soon as we can develop the preliminary schematics of what signage might look like. And this presentation here tonight is it's very timely because we could incorporate that too. Yes. Councilor Bender and Councilor Brown, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 10.1 is a resolution introduced by the Public Works Department of the City of Superior supporting a grant application to the Captain Planet Foundation.
You heard the motion. Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Item 10.2 is a resolution introduced by the Community Development Division setting a public hearing for June 7th at 6:30 p.m. to substantially amend and reallocate dollars to the 2011 Community Development Block Grant Action Plan.
You've heard the motion and second. Discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 10.3 is a resolution by Mayor Hagan supporting the Heart Safe Northland program sponsored by the Northland chapter of the Red Cross and other community partners.
You've heard the motion and second. I believe Ms. Gonzalez would like to speak to this. I see Mr. Rockwood in the audience also.
Okay. Hi, my name's Judy Gonzalez. I'm the Executive Director of the Northland Chapter of the American Red Cross. And there is at least one person in this room who would not be here tonight if it were not for CPR training at AED in the community. Rick Rockwood, just several years ago, was playing basketball and with some friends and suddenly said, "Uh-oh, guys, I need help," and fell dead to the floor. And if it wasn't for the quick action of his friend George Balich, who was trained by the Red Cross to perform CPR, and the quick action of the local fire department that shocked Rick back to life in less than 7 minutes, he would not be sitting in the audience with us tonight. Rick's story has been an inspiration to me, and for almost a year we've been working tirelessly, really, to move forward the idea that our communities in the Northland need to have AEDs, and the people in our communities need to understand how to save a life. These kinds of occurrences happen all too often here in Superior across the bridge. Dean Carpenter is one person I know who has saved a life on this side of the bridge. Brad Bushy in the Duluth Fire Department has saved several lives after a sudden cardiac arrest. And what I would like to ask the council, with the mayor's support for this resolution, is that we together partner to promote the idea that 200 AEDs be placed in buildings in our communities, that 2,000 additional people be trained in CPR AED operation, and that we educate 140,000 people to strengthen the chain of survival, which is early access to 911 or local emergency response teams, CPR, early defibrillation, and early advanced emergency care. I'm not asking for any money, but what we do need is your support and your help in promoting this around the community. We now have 15 partners, including the fire departments on both sides of the bridge, the mayors of both cities, all 3 chambers of commerce, St. Luke's Hospital, Gold Cross Ambulance, Arrowhead EMS, and we'd like to have you be a partner with us too as we work towards this objective. We're all volunteers. None of us have any budget. We're all doing this out of our heart, and we'd like to have you join us. I'd be glad to answer any questions if you have them.
Yes, I understand that CPR has changed over the years also, so people that had previous training in CPR really need to be retrained.
That's exactly true. The Red Cross has just moved from a 1-year certification to a 2-year certification to help people become trained more inexpensively. But that certification now also includes free online refreshers that people can take to make sure that their skills are fresh. We're also teaching compression-only CPR to people to help for people who don't feel comfortable doing rescue breathing during CPR, because it's really important to keep that blood flowing around until we can get that AED on people. But we can't have AEDs sitting in drawers and unused. Tim Russert died with an AED nearby because nobody knew where it was. So the fact that this building has AEDs prominently displayed is great, but all of us have to be ready to open that door and do what needs to be done. If one of our friends, one of our family members, an acquaintance falls ill.
I just want to make a comment and to say that I would very much like to encourage everybody to go through this training that can. I take it and have for, I believe, in the last 10 years, 8 years with the Red Cross, the CPR for the professional rescuer. In the last 2 years, I've done it with the Heart Association, healthcare provider, CPR, and I do it for the same reason that George Bolich does, because I'm a ski patroller at Spirit Mountain. The training is really good. Doing CPR correctly requires the training. But it's not very difficult to do, and there's not an awful lot to remember to get it done right and to save a life. It was really nice, and I believe George got an award at he was recognized by the National Ski Patrol for his effort as well. And the AEDs are incredibly goof-proof. I mean, you need to be trained and get some practice, but they do everything for you, pretty much. So it'd be a very good thing for anybody to get this training.
Some of the AEDs that the Red Cross is involved with will actually have a metronome, so that during the process, it'll not only tell you to perform CPR, but it also time you so you do the compressions at the right speed. Yeah, they really are great.
Councilor McKenzie.
This is wonderful that you're here, Judy. To bring this awareness. This is something that I've thought about a lot. There's been certain situations that I thought that could have happened. With having raising two boys. I would love to sign up for this. Show me where to sign up. I'm going to do it because I've threatened to do it for years and years. I think now it's time, and I think Tom is right. I'm going to do it.
We'd be glad to help.
Any further discussion? Thank you very much.
Thank you for considering the resolution. Really appreciate it, Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 11.1 is an ordinance introduced by the city attorney amending the traffic code, parking, alternate side calendar parking.
You've heard the motion and second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
11.2 is an ordinance introduced by the Public Works Department amending Chapter 12, the traffic code, disabled parking zones by adding 2130 John Avenue on both sides.
You've heard the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
11.3 is an ordinance introduced by the Public Works Department amending the traffic code, disabled do not block sidewalk zones by removing 5513 Oaks Avenue.
What is the pleasure? Motion and second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. There are no members of the public that wish to speak. Counselor?
I just want to thank everybody that helped out with the Workers' Memorial holiday that we had last Wednesday at Webster Park out in South Superior. The weather was a little nasty, but it got done. It was a great effort by everybody. Mary, thank you, and Mayor, the city, and the staff that helped with that. And just for the record, it snowed again yesterday, too, and we did it in Duluth. So, but thank you all.
You've heard the motion. All in favor? We stand adjourned.